Our next speaker is going to talk about the world of wasps, a multidisciplinary research-based collaboration by Alice Holloway from the UCL Grant Museum of Zoology.
Hi everyone, I'm Alice. I'm the assistant curator at UCL Grant Museum of Zoology, and I'm going to talk to you guys all about World of Wasps. So, what was World of Wasps? World of Wasps was the world's first exhibition and engagement program centered on wasps. It ran at the Grant Museum of Zoology from June 2025 till January 2026. And as my sort of title alludes, we didn't put on this exhibition just by ourselves. It was really a project centered around collaboration. So I'm just going to sort of highlight the collaborators that we worked with who really made the project possible. So firstly, we worked with the Sumner Lab. They are a research group in the Centre for Biodiversity and Environment Research at UCL. They study the evolution of social behaviour in bees, ants, wasps, and termites. And they were really invaluable in sharing their knowledge and expertise with us. They shared their specimens with us that you can see in the picture on the left. They also shared their time, and many of the researchers from the group came and gave talks at sort of specific evening and lunchtime events. Secondly, we worked with Datascape Realities, who are a collective of architects, designers, and scientists. They created us two VR experiences. So the first one took visitors through a sort of, we called it a wasp's eye journey through a rewilded Grant Museum. So you can see someone there just using it on that sort of seated unit. So that sort of took people around the museum and they were able to see the daily activities of wasps and the daily behaviours outside of the nest. They also created us another VR experience that was based on a scientifically accurate representation of inside a wasp's nest that was based on a CT scan that was done for us by the Centre for Integrative Anatomy at UCL. And then that also enabled people to see the sort of behaviours inside the nest. We also worked with an artist called Peter Ayres, who created us two artworks made from paper that you can see also in the picture just behind the person who is looking at the VR. Our next collaborator was a company called SDNA. They're a creative studio specializing in digital artworks. They created us 4 projections of wasps. I didn't have any good photos of them. It's quite hard to take pictures of projections. But there were 4 little wasp projections that were dotted around the museum that sort of brought a bit of life and movement to the space when the exhibition was on. And our final collaborator was Global Generation, who are a education charity that co-create gardens with communities in King's Cross and Southwark. And they led an intergenerational workshop making clay wasp nests from repurposed HS2 clay from the building sites. So why did we pick wasps? As a university museum, we play a critical role in communicating new and current research to public audiences. So we decided to partner with the Sumner Lab, using their specimens to showcase the diversity of wasps, from solitary wasps to eusocial species. And we really aim to connect and inspire empathy for the natural world, sort of invertebrates generally, but specifically wasps. And we wanted to demonstrate how ecologically vital and socially complex wasps are, and using the VR in order to showcase that. So what did we find out? We collected quite a lot of data from the exhibition. I didn't know if you'd be able to read these. So I guess I maybe don't need to read them out. But yeah, we had a lot of data collected. We had this notice board that was in the museum. We got lots of lovely comments and a few more comments that I guess one of our favourite ones was quite an honest feedback, which does say, the museum used to be incredibly boring, but now is actually a bit more interesting. Thank you. So, you know, that's all down to the wasps. I don't know what that person now thinks of the museum, considering it is done. But we had an increase in visitor numbers during the programme. We had national and international press coverage and also interest from within UCL, where we had 2 new modules taught within the museum, specifically linked to World of Wasps. But what I really would like to speak about is the undergraduate research project that we had that was based in the museum, which surveyed visitors to World of Wasps. And I'm glad to say that their research findings said that visiting World of Wasps positively reshaped visitors' sentiment towards wasps by learning about the ecosystem services they provide. And they also found that the VR was a particularly effective way of doing this, and it sort of created a sense of connection between humans and wasps. And so finally, I'd just like to finish off with a sort of rendering of what the VR experience looked like with the Rewilded Grant Museum, so you can get a bit of an insight into what the visitors were able to see. Thank you.